Okay, guys. Now we're going to install the JDK and then set the path on Windows operating system. So you could search, but I'm going to copy and paste this link. Let me just close all those. Okay. And then I'm just going to go directly to it. Okay. And I'm just going to scroll to there's Linux. As you can see, you can also install it on Linux. And I'm going to look for Windows. I've got a 64-bit machine. I'm going to pick this Windows JDK zip. You can see Amazon Krito, and it's going to download it for me. So I'm just going to pause. Okay, so when it's downloaded, I'm just going to go to my downloads folder. You'll have to see on yours where it's set up to, and I'm actually going to cut that. You could copy it as well, but then it will stay there. I'm just going to cut it, and I'm going to put it, you can put it anywhere. I'm just going to put it on my D drive, and I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it some JDK, and then I'm going to put that zip file in there. Okay, there it is. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to unzip it in this folder. So I'm going to say extract here. I just right clicked on it, extract here, and it's going to extract the files. Okay. And there is my JDK. Okay, now what's important is, how do I know that my system has seen it? There are basically two ways of doing this, and we've got to okay, what we've done so far, we selected the correct version for my machine, which is the Windows one, which I showed you here. Here is my my Windows file. I've unzipped it, and just while we're in it, in this bin directory, I want to show you something. You will see that there's my Java command, which then I use that command to run the programs, and there's my javac, or I say javac command for compiling. Okay, just for interest sake. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the command line of the machine. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go here to my Windows on the left, the search, and I'm going to get the prompt there. I can just type command there, and there's my command prompt. I open my command prompt, and now I'm going to check. On my machine, I've already got a version loaded. So in your machine, you could have set, but I'm going to show you what I mean. I could have set Java minus version to see. When you see, I've got Java runtime 1.8.0 there, which is not the one that I've set there. But let's say I want to use that one, because I've got other Java versions on machine installed as well. I can simply set the class path here, the path, not class path, the path. So I'm going to say path equals to, and I'm just going to get that one's path, which the easiest way to do would be to go to my Explorer and just go to it where I put it. Here's the JDK. go into its folder, go to bin, and then I'm just going to say copy address, or address as text should be the same. And I'm going to right click here and paste. And now if I say Java minus version, you see now it's seeing my open JDK of Corito, which is this one that I installed here. And if I go Java minus Java C, in other words, minus version, there you see it's a version 11. Okay, so now we can go ahead because I've temporarily set my class path, not class path, sorry, my path. And let's see if I can now write a program and compile it and so on. Okay, so I'm just going to minimize this one, and I'm going to go and get notepad out, my trusty little notepad, and I'm going to type in the code now of my source code. So there I've got it, and I've got public class my first program, and then I'm going to put public static void main string args, and then I'm going to output to the console system output line, welcome to Java programming. And you guys can do it just like this, exactly how it is over here. And I'm going to say save, and I'm going to save it as on the D drive. I'm just going to create a folder for my project, and I'm going to say program with Java pwj. I'll just call my project, you can call it whatever you want, and here you must save it as the same name as what you named your class. That's important. My first program .java, and you see UTF encoding over there, like I said. Okay, and then I'm going to say save, and let's go and look if I've got it there. So I'm just going to minimize that one, and I want this just took a bit for my Explorer to open, and I'm going to look at I'm just going to open it there, and you'll see there's my Java file. Okay, so now what we must do, we must compile that file. So I'm just going to bring that one up here. I'm going to put it over there, and now the command is javac, like that. Java C for compile, and then I'm going to say, and what's important here is if you had to do that, it wouldn't find it. Let me just show you. And I'm going to say my first program.java, and it says it can't find it because I'm not on the right directory. So I'm going to say, first I'm going to go to my D drive because that directory is on the D drive, and I'm going to just click on it here, copy address like I did previously, and I'm going to say change directory cd to that, and then now my console is the same directory as where my program is, my source code is. And now if I say Java C and I type in, let me just so you guys can see my first program dot Java, and if I spelled everything right and everything went smoothly, Yes, it didn't give me any errors. If there's some problem, it would have thrown me an error there. And if you can see straight away, if you look up here, there's my class file. If you recall, I spoke about the source right in the beginning and the class. That's my compiled bytecode that the JRE is going to use. Now to run it, remember I just said it's now, instead of it's just Java. Then my first program without the CL class at the end. So I'm just going to say my first program, and just like that, and if everything goes well, it should output what I told the output, and there it is. Welcome to Java programming. And that is exactly what was in my source code. If I bring out my source code, let me just show you my source code. Welcome to Java programming. So there, it's working 100%. I've just written a Java program basically using the JDK, the JRE to run it, and I just used Notepad. Okay, I didn't need a fancy IDE and stuff, which we can look at it later. But what's important here is you guys understand how to compile and run a Java program, and how to write it, and how to set up your machine and so on. So what we did here is we installed it for JDK, for Windows, with a path. Now, the last thing I want to show you, remember I set the class path with this. Now you'd have to, if you don't have it in your environment, you'd have to do that every time you program. But there's a way to set on Windows your path environment, and this is what I'm showing you here. So I'm just going to show you. I'm not going to change mine, but I'm going to show you where you do it. Okay, so you go again. The easiest is might not be easiest the way I do it. I search there and I just type environment, and it will tell you as soon as I put env, it came up straight away. Edit system environment variables. I go in there. Okay, and there is environment variables. I go there, and you'll see there's two places that you must change here. The one is your Java home. You'll put your, you see I've got a different one here. When I started, I showed you earlier on, when I said Java version, it gave me this one because it's in before I changed it with my temporary. So this one is looking at my C drive, and I've got JDK 1.8 over there. Okay, so you put that under Java home, as you can see there. Then on your path, so you can edit these things. You press edit to change it or to add it, or you can say new if you don't have him. Then yeah, on your path, you edit it and you add a percentage and that Java home there. If you didn't have one before, you put one in there, followed by, that's it, backslash bin, and then those little things. So if you look over there, you add that to, you leave the rest as it was, you add that one, that line there. But obviously yours would be then the path to where you add your JDK entered and so on. What I'm talking about this one here. I would then have D drive, JDK, and whatever that I showed you earlier. Okay, that is, then once that is done, you just have to reboot your Windows PC, and when it starts up, it will see this environment variable. Obviously, you can change it if you want to use another one temporary, like I did in the beginning. You can temporarily change it. Okay, so that was that. That's your environment variable. So that is what I'm showing here to change it permanently. And that was that. And the Ubuntu one, I've got a video on how to do how to set up your path. Actually, the path is automatically, but how to set up your JDK and how to run your program. So there we ran it. So please, if you're using Ubuntu Linux, you're welcome to go and look at that one. And then yeah, write your first application. As you can see, I created it, I named it, and I ran it, and so on. So that comes the end of this lesson. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and please don't forget to press that button and the notify button and so on. Okay, and guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next lesson.